Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. Nancy, you look familiar. You've been to one of our shows before. Tonight, we are going to Hawaii. I don't know if you've seen in the news recently, but they are opening up, thankfully, and they're easing the restrictions on going for getting like the COVID vaccine or COVID tests. So all of that is coming to play. And so now we can start planning. Everybody has been contacting us lately. They want to go, of course, in 2022 or later this year. We're definitely able to help them. And Chase is going to go over some great information on why Classic Vacations is really the vendor, the tour company that we use for you to go to Hawaii. They do represent the world, and he'll tell you all about that. But tonight we're really going to talk about Hawaii and all the different islands and beautiful places to go to. I didn't introduce myself, but my name is Jennifer Garris, and I've been with Travel Pros since 1997. I've owned it since 2005. It's definitely been one of my passions throughout my life is to talk to people about travel and help them plan those wonderful destinations. And then Glenda here, she works out of our Houston office. She also helps out in the West and North, and she's been with us since 2010. So we have quite a bit of experience. We're licensed, we're insured, of course, and we basically have great partners like Classic that we can book your vacation through. We do offer payment plans, and that makes it nice too. So that way you're not having to pay for everything all at one time. And we listen to what you want. And our goal is to find it for you. And it is really a pleasure to do so. So with that, I'm going to turn that over to Mr. Chase Patterson with Classic Vacations, and he's going to tell you all about Hawaii.
Hey everyone, how's it going? Jennifer, thank you for the introduction. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Give me 1 second here. All right, I'm just gonna do this. And it's not letting me.
Let's see here, make sure. Yep, you're a presenter, so it should automatically start or share screen. There you go.
There we go. Perfect. All right, so my name is Chase Patterson. I'm with Classic Vacations, and today is just going to be basically a Hawaii 101. We'll go through the different islands, kind of explain the similarities and difference between each island here at Classic. Classic Vacations, we've been around for 40 plus years, and we actually started as Classic Hawaii. So Hawaii was the only destination we sold for a while, but we branched out to a few other destinations, but Hawaii really still is our bread and butter. So again, my name is Chase Patterson. I am the new business development manager here at Classic Vacations. So any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. So a little bit about Classic. As I said, we started out as Classic Hawaii, but as you see here, we have destinations pretty much all over the world. Mexico and the Caribbean have been really popular for us as of late. Before COVID, Europe was actually our #2 bestseller. So we do quite a bit of Europe, as well as Fiji, Tahiti, North America, Asia. Pretty much anywhere you'd like to go in the world, we have in our portfolio. But again, today we will be focusing mostly on Hawaii. So a little bit about Classic Vacations. We specialize in the 4- and 5-star hotel tier. We do have select 3.5-star, but for the most part, we do specialize in that upper echelon of hotel properties. For airfare, we offer contracted rates as well as published rates, ground transfers, car rentals, tours and activities. Pretty much anything you need for your trip, we can help you plan. One thing I will say about our properties is that some properties are Classic preferred, which basically means we have a direct relationship with those properties. So if you run into any issues, we can reach out to those properties direct. So on our site, you'll see some are listed as Classic preferred and have that orange tag next to it, and others do not. Those that do not have the Classic preferred are actually booked through Expedia. but the customer service still goes through Classic and all of that. So good rule of thumb, always try to book Classic Preferred when possible. When you do book through Classic, we have a few different protection options as far as insurance. So the travel delay is up to $5,000 per person. So God forbid you do get COVID while you're in destination, that $5,000 should be able to get you through that quarantine and back home safely. All three of our protection plans do offer full cash back. It's not for a future travel credit or anything like that. And we do offer cancel for any reason for contracted air, as well as the land portion. And Jennifer, and for the other travel advisors, we do offer commission protection. So if it is canceled, we do cover that. And just one more slide before we get to the meat and potatoes of the presentation, and that's all about Hawaii. But here at Classic, we're definitely built around our call center. So Jennifer and the other travel advisors, if you do have any questions or you'd like to book Hawaii, please feel free to give us a call, either at our general reservations line or our new partner reservations line. So a little bit about Classic. As I said, we specialize in the 4- and 5-star hotel range. And this is not an exhaustive list, but these are some of the top partners that we work with. So Ritz-Carlton, Auberge, Montage, Fairmont. When you think of 4- and 5-star luxury, these are the names you think of. So with that out of the way, that was a little Classic commercial, but now we'll get more into Hawaii. So I'm actually based in California, so Hawaii is just in my backyard. So I have been a few times, but not nearly enough. I am always wanting to go back to Hawaii. As you see here, there are quite a few islands. However, today we'll focus on Kauai, Oahu, Maui, and then the Big Island, aka Hawaii, aka Kona. So those are the 4 we'll be focusing on. We do have properties as well in Molokai and Lanai, but I won't go too in depth into those. Just they aren't as popular, but we still do have quite a few bookings there as well. And right off the bat, my pronunciation is not the best. So if I mispronounce anything, I do apologize. But to start, I just want to go over how long it'll take to get to Hawaii from different areas. So of course, on the West Coast, such as Seattle and LA, it's a little bit quicker. If you're coming in for the East Coast, it's honestly not that much longer. So as you see here from New York, it's usually around 10 to 11 hours. Atlanta, 9 to 10 hours. Most flights do go into Honolulu, but there are several regional airports in Hawaii as well. So we'll start off in Oahu. So Oahu is probably the most popular island. That's where Honolulu, Waikiki Beach, all that is. So it's the 3rd largest island. However, it is the most visited island. As you see all the hotels on the beach here. It's the military command center of the Pacific, and it's home to the Pearl Harbor Museum, which if you haven't been, I would definitely recommend it. Kind of a history buff, so that's right up my alley. It's close to 1 million people there in Oahu, and it does have several options as far as hotels, resorts, museums, shopping, nightlife, you name it. Oahu most likely has it, as well as the beautiful beaches as you see here. So if you do hear panting in the background, my dog decided to sit right next to me, and he's a heavy breather, so I do apologize for that. But in Oahu, we have a few resort areas that I'd like to focus on today. So Waikiki Beach, as you just saw on the slide before, that's really where you see all the pictures and all the videos. Waikiki Beach is usually where it's happening. So it's the biggest city in Hawaii, and it does have the most hotels. It's home to 100 plus world-renowned beaches in Oahu. From Waikiki Beach, we move up north to the North Shore, and that's all about surfing there. So it's a little bit more remote than Waikiki. However, if you're looking to surf, you cannot beat the North Shore of Oahu. Oahu is home to the Turtle Bay Resort, which is one of our most popular resorts here at Classic. So again, if you're looking for something a little bit more remote, or if you have clients, or if you're really into surfing, I would definitely recommend Turtle Bay. If we move a little bit east of Waikiki, you have Kohala, which is more of an upscale celebrity hangout. So it's close to Waikiki, but if you want to get away from all the noise and lights, it's far enough to where you don't have to stay up all night in Waikiki. And last but not least, we have Kohala, which is basically a man-made paradise. It's a little bit west of Waikiki. If you're looking for just quiet and serene, that would be the place to go. So any questions on Oahu?
No, but renting a car, I guess, in Waikiki is not really recommended because things are like so easy to get around. But if you are to go up to the North Shore, you probably do want to get a car, especially so you can visit all the little private beaches in that area.
Yes, exactly. And I know car rentals in Hawaii are pretty crazy right now. So if you are booking a Hawaii trip, I would definitely recommend a car rental is one of the first things you do. Just because we've seen car rentals running out so quickly. People are renting U-Hauls to get around, which nobody wants to do. But if you are going to explore the North Shore and all that, I would definitely recommend renting a car.
But you also have tours. Your concierge team can help put together, picking them up at the hotel and driving them, you know, like if they wanted to go to Pearl Harbor or to see the Diamond volcano, Diamond Head, and other parts. What's the ranch called? That's like movies.
That's it. I know it, but I can't think of it.
Kailua. I always say Kailua, but I always murder the words too. Ranch, and then you can ride 4-wheelers and go to like Jurassic Park.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to do that. That is on my list.
Yeah, mine too. Perfect. So moving on from Oahu, we're going to Maui, or as some call it, the Magic Isle. So it's the second largest of the islands. It's half an hour by air from Honolulu. So if you do fly into Honolulu, it's a quick layover and then a quick flight to Maui. It has more miles of accessible beach than any other Hawaiian island. It has the largest dormant volcano crater in the world, which I will try to pronounce, Haleakala, which I think I got right. So awesome. Close to 150,000 population, so a lot smaller than Oahu. With shops and bistros, the Haleakala crater, and then the road to Hana. So the road to Hana is basically a drive and a hike. The views, I have not personally been there, but the views I've heard are spectacular. So I would definitely recommend that if you're looking for tours and activities in Maui. So a little bit about the resort areas in Maui. So it's a little bit more spread out than Oahu. So Kapalua, which is home to one of our most popular properties, Kapalua Bay. Lush pine trees, rugged shoreline, windy, but there are some beautiful golf resorts. So again, if you have clients or if you're looking to go golfing, I would definitely recommend looking at that area. And if you can see my mouse, Kapalua is right up there on the northwestern side. Next to that, we have Kaanapali, which to me has the best shoreline. Lots of shopping, golf courses, again, and accommodations for pretty much every price range. So if you're looking for more of those 3.5-star hotels that I mentioned earlier, or even those 5-star hotels, Kaanapali pretty much has those in their inventory, and that's a little bit south of Kapalua. Moving further south, we have Lahaina, which again is that old whaling town. Lots of tourist attractions there, lots of shopping. And we do have a ferry from Lahaina to Lanai, and I believe that departs 5 times a day. So if you're looking to go to Lanai and just explore, I know I don't have any slides on it, but if you're looking to cross that island off of your checklist, that would be the way to do it. Now, if we move south to Waialea, that's home to the Grand Waialea, which is one of our most popular properties as well. So beautiful beaches, world-class resorts. So we have several 5-star resorts in Waialea. First-rate dining and shopping. Again, more golf. Maui's pretty much known for that. And last but not least, we have Hana. So Hana, as you see, is on the far east side. So again, the road to Hana, 51 weight bridges, 600 hairpin curves. So I know it sounds crazy and dangerous, but I promise you it's 100% safe and it's awesome. Once you get there, the views are just incredible. Any questions on Maui?
Don't you have one of those tours where they drive you to the top of it and then you take a bike down? So you're not really, having a bike ride. You're just gliding all the way down the road to Hana.
Exactly. Yes. And anyone who's biked before, biking downhill is a lot easier than biking uphill. So if you're
Yeah,
looking for a much more leisure road to Hana, that would be the way to do it.
there you go.
Yeah. Perfect. So moving on from Maui, we're going to Kauai, which is personally my favorite island. So it's the fourth largest Hawaiian island, and it's referred to as the Garden Isle because everything is green. And I'm not exaggerating. It is green everywhere you look. So it's 70% inaccessible by foot. So helicopter tours are extremely popular in Kauai. It's home to Mount Waialea, which I don't know if I got that one right, but that's known as the wettest spot on Earth, and it's home to 430 inches of rainfall annually. So if you're looking for more of a rainforest vibe, Kauai would be the island to go to. Much smaller than Maui or Oahu with 65,000 people, but magnificent scenery, the vegetation, waterfalls, it is absolutely stunning. The Waimea Canyon is basically the Grand Canyon, but green. So I was lucky enough to actually go on a boat tour to view the Waimea Canyon, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. I got to go snorkeling there. So would definitely recommend checking that out if you do reach Kauai. So Kauai doesn't have as many resort areas as it's much smaller than Oahu or Maui, but we still do have several 4- and 5-star resorts there. So Princeville, which you see is on the northern coast here. The Nepali coast is where Waimea Canyon is here, but the Nepali coast is also a beautiful tour to see the lush green mountains there. But Princeville, you see up here, golfer's paradise. We do have several properties there. If we move south on the opposite side of the island, we have Polipu, which is South Kauai resort area. Sunshine almost year round. One thing I didn't mention about Hawaii is that the weather is perfect pretty much all year. I believe the winter is from November to March, and the average temperature, I want to say, is 82, 83 degrees. So not much of a winter. And last but not least is Waimea, which is this western side over here. So again, home to the Waimea Canyon, which is the Grand Canyon of the Pacific, excuse me. Any questions about Kauai?
No, I'm just ready to go.
Right. Yeah. Kauai is amazing. The food there is incredible. The flowers are just, I can't really describe it, but you just have to go for yourself. So moving on to Hawaii. So it's also referred to as the Big Island or Kona. This is probably the most unique island. When you land in Kona, you feel like you landed on the moon because it's just black volcanic rock as far as you can see. It is the coolest thing. So it's actually the youngest of the islands, and it's also the biggest. So it's 2 times bigger than any other island, and it's actually still growing. So it has the most diverse weather in the world. So it's home to 11 of the 13 climate zones in the world. So Kona actually gets snow. So what the locals do is during the winter when it snows up on the mountains, they'll drive their trucks up there, load the snow in the truck, bring it back down so the kids can play in it. So Kona is definitely a unique place. It's home to the Man Triathlon, which when I went to Kona, was actually going on. So we had a lot of people putting me to shame by, waking up at 4 a.m. to go on runs and biking and all that. And it's also home to Kona coffee, which definitely does live up to the hype. I got some every day and it was incredible. It's also home to the world's most active volcano, Kilauea, I believe it's how it's pronounced. So Kona, definitely interesting if you're more interested in geological and viewing volcanoes. This would be the place to go. So a few of the resort areas in Kona that I want to go over. First off is the Kohala Coast. So it's called the Gold Coast of the Big Island. It is the sunniest area in Hawaii with less than 9 inches of rainfall annually. and it's home to the Mauna Kea, which is probably our most popular resort in Hawaii. So the Mauna Kea is known for their orange orchid logo, and it's a beautiful resort. The French toast there, I still think about on a daily basis because it is that good. Moving on to Kona or Kailua, it's an affordable vacation spot. Again, some of those 3.5-star, 4-star hotels we have in that spot. You'll see black lava and the sand shore, so it's a really cool view from there as well. And last but not least is Hilo, which is the east side of the island. So if you're looking to get to the volcano, that would be the place to stay. So that pretty much brings me to the end of the presentation. I just wanted a quick overview about Hawaii and just kind of explain the differences between each island. So I can go ahead and open it up for questions.
Well, you mentioned the contracted air rate. You know, most people don't know what that is. So can you explain how that works and what that actually is compared to a published airline ticket?
Yeah, so contracted rates are basically rates that Classic has gone out. We've reached out to the airlines, and we have contracts with those airlines for special rates. Published rates basically means that they're open to the general public. So if you went on Google or Expedia and typed in that same airline, you would find the same pricing as you would through Classic. So contractor rates basically are through Classic. Published rates, you still book through Classic, but basically you can book anywhere at those rates for those seats.
And you can have a payment plan on those too, right? You don't have to pay it in full.
So for published air, you do need to pay in full at time of deposit. For contracted air, we usually have a little bit of leeway, but usually 24 or 48 hours after deposit, after the initial deposit, full payment would be due on that air as well. But if it's just land only, our deposits are $20 per person, and that is refundable. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. How about in your travel insurance, the cancel for any reason? You have two types. One is for a future credit, and the other one is for cashback.
So our insurance, it's cancel for any reason. It's cashback on pretty much everything. There are some instances where it's for a future travel credit, but for the most part, it's money straight back to your credit card. And it's 100% refund for land and contracted air. If it's published air, it has to be on the Platinum plan, which is our top tier plan, and that's a 75% refund. But we also offer 2 change fees per person for airfare. So if you want to change the dates instead of canceling in full, that's what we usually recommend, just so you don't lose that 25% of that published air.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
In today's world, you know, we just have to be careful and make sure everybody understands it is okay to go ahead and start planning this early. Things can come up, and as we've seen, and they just want to know that they have the flexibility, that they're just not losing out money. So we do encourage people to book early, so that way they get the better rates. And of course, the better sale rates are always earlier, not later, closer to departure, because that's when things actually sell out and the price can actually be higher. So yeah, this is great information that we're trying to get out to people, just so they know, you know, and that's one of the reasons we're doing these shows, is because most people, all they have access to is the internet, and they don't have live people that they can actually ask questions for and not realize that, you know, we're here to help. You know, we want to make that journey special for them and stress-free, you know, quite frankly, because nobody wants to be stressed out trying to figure it out. Did I pick the wrong hotel? You know, the pictures look nice online, but is it really a nice place? So, and I know that your company only sells quality products, and it's not more expensive, and a lot of people don't realize that. Actually, sometimes it can be less because you have a contracted rate, and then again, they can make payments on it. So
yeah, and one thing I didn't cover today is just the COVID-19 protocols for Hawaii. just because they're changing every week. So by the time this recording gets out, someone watches it in the future and hears me say something, it might be completely different 2 weeks from now. So that's why I didn't mention it. But I do envision as we get later on into the year and early into 2022, those restrictions will get less and less strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what, we keep telling people too, just to let them know. It is easing up, and thankfully. So, and it's always good to be prepared because we never know. Things can come up all the time, and it's better to head it off and have a plan in place than to wait until that day and then not know what to do. So that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that's when a travel advisor is extremely necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, this has been wonderful. I really do appreciate it, guys, for staying on here with us tonight. Please join us each week on Thursdays from 6 to 7 p.m. We do try to cover different topics, different destinations. We do have a travel question and answer series coming up here in a couple of weeks. So email us your questions, and that way we can put it on air. Other people may have the same kind of questions you do, and hopefully we can get that information out for them. Also share our videos and let them know about them. It's free to join. It doesn't last long, and they may enjoy it as well. Kind of takes you away from the TV and the news, and enjoying something positive and fun, and get to meet people that may want to travel together too, if we put some groups together. So, well, Chase, this has been wonderful, and I really do appreciate it. And we look forward to speaking to you soon.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. And thank you, everyone, for joining today. And if you're watching this in the future on the recording, thank you.
All right. You guys have a great evening.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.